Hello and welcome to this lesson. So in this lesson, we're going to learn a little bit about voegwoorde, which in English are conjunctions. So as you can hear with the word voeg means to add. And in this case, you are adding one sentence to another sentence. So I hope that makes sense with this cool image that I got on the internet. Anyway, so when you are combining two sentences, they need to be combined with something, right? And that's where conjunctions come in. So in English, you would have to study all the conjunctions, but I feel like they are straightforward because you use them in your everyday language, but it might be a little bit tricky to use Afrikaans ones. And that's why I've prepared this lesson, and I'm going to show you exactly how you need to study them in order for you to remember what to do each time that this question is asked. So in Afrikaans, voegwoorde are divided into three groups, groep 1, groep 2, groep 3. I think this is like the best way to study this because as they are divided into these three groups, they are also divided into what you need to do every time you run into a particular conjunction or a particular voegwoord. So as they are now, they are also translated into English, but honestly, I don't think that it's necessary for you to know exactly what they mean. What I do need you to do is study them exactly in the groups that they have been divided in, if that makes sense. So I need you, without a shadow of a doubt, I need you to know more that, for example, maar, of, want, en, doch. I need you to know that that's in group 1, more than I need you to know that maar means but and of means or, etc., etc. I hope that makes sense. So, I think you can build like a little acronym or something for you to remember where they need to be. But I can tell you now that in group 1, they will mostly ask this, maybe the top 4. This one they barely ask, but it also means but. And then group 2, these are the ones, basically most of the ones that start with D, and then these other ones you'd have to learn separately. And then here they have waarom and dien terwyl, asof, as, sodra, sedert, tensy, daar. And then all the dots. So sodat, nadat, voordat, dat, totdat, omdat. Okay, so the one thing that I can tell you is that they mostly ask maar, want, there. Then here they mostly ask daarom, en dan, nogtans maybe. And then this side they mostly ask dat and all the other dots. So it's important for you to find some sort of a system for you to remember all of them. I used to use an acronym, but I only used the acronym for group 2 because I knew these ones off by heart, and then I knew that if I studied group 2, whatever doesn't fit in any of these two would go this side. So you can also try that type of a system. Okay. Now, what happens in group 1? So in group 1, when you combine the sentences, nothing changes about the sentence order. What do I mean by that? I mean you add the conjunction in the middle of the two sentences because you're going to be given sentence 1, sentence 2, and then you're going to be given the conjunction in brackets, okay? Just like you see here. And then all you have to do is put it in the sentence. So this sentence says, dit reën, that's sentence 1, die riviere kom af, okay? And you were given N. So your answer is going to be, dit reën en die riviere kom af. That's all you have to do, nothing changes. It's basically connect this one and that one. Obviously, remember the punctuation. Then the next one, there's only a slight change here, but I've already kind of put in a clue for you in the previous slide, which is the fact that maar and want must have a comma in front of them, okay? So in this sentence, die weerkantoor voorspel mooi weer, dit hou aan met reën. Okay, then you have maar. So you need to remember that before maar, there needs to be a comma. Die weerkantoor voorspel mooi weer, comma, maar, dit hou aan met reën. Okay, so I put this in because even if you put maar in the right order and you forget the comma, there's a high possibility that the teacher's going to mark it wrong. So that's why it's important for you to have that there. Then in group 2, it's the same. So this one is not indicated in this group, but I'm going to tell you anyway. And that's the fact that if you are in group 2, you must also remember the punctuation. But let's start with the rule first. So in group 2, you need to use the first verb of the second sentence and shift it to right after the conjunction in the middle of the sentence. I'll repeat. So you're going to be given sentence 1, sentence 2, right? You now need to look at the first verb of the second sentence. How do you find the first verb? You need to know stompie, right? So subject, verb 1, time, subject, object, manner, place, then verb 2, and then infinitive, right? So verb 1 is the one that's going to shift to directly after the conjunction, and then the rest of the sentence is going to sound the same. So let's use this example. Jy leer nie, jy gaan dryp. So then you have this. Then you must immediately remember that, oh, this is in group 2. What does the rule say for group 2? The conjunction or the first verb of the second sentence must go directly after the conjunction. So, jy leer nie, dus gaan jy dryp. Okay, because here in this sentence, verb 1 is gaan. You are going to. Okay, so, and then dryp is verb 2. Okay, so, jy leer nie, dus gaan, so it's first the conjunction, then gaan, then jy dryp. Got it? All right. So what I also want you to know is that you need to put like a semicolon in there for, I think, the majority of the ones in group 2. Okay, let's look at example 2. Hy het die lotto gewen. Hy koop deesdae net wat hy sien. And then you were given daarom. So the answer is hy het die lotto gewen, semicolon, daarom koop hy, because koop was verb 1. So conjunction, verb 1, then you need to go grab the subject, and then the rest of the sentence stays the same. So hy het die lotto gewen, hy het die lotto gewen, daarom koop hy deesdae net wat hy sien. Okay, let's move on to group 3. So group 3 says the first verb of the second sentence goes straight to the end. Okay, so every time you come across any of these words, you need to apply this rule. Okay, so let's look at the first one. This is the simplest it can be. Okay, die kinders is uitgerus. That's the first sentence. Second sentence, hulle het 'n lang vakansie gehad, and you're given omdat. Okay, so it says that the verb of the second sentence, which in this case is het, must go to the end. Okay, so the answer is die kinders is uitgerus omdat conjunction, hulle, then you took out het here and you put it at the end, omdat hulle 'n lang vakansie gehad het. Okay, then example 2. So this one is the simplest one, okay? Example 2, I said be careful of helping verbs that cannot exist without the main verb. What do I mean by that? In this second sentence, you have kan here. Kan can't exist on its own. Other ones that are like this are moet, gaan, etc. or kom or something like that. So they can't exist on their own. So they need to go to the end of the sentence, but they need to be attached to the main verb, okay? And the main verb here is gaan. So when I said gaan earlier, I meant if gaan was here. Sy gaan haar boete betaal, for example. Then gaan would be the helping word, and then betaal would be the main word, the main verb, okay? So in this case, Sam moet bank toe gaan voordat is now the conjunction. Sy, then you took this out to put at the end, right? Winkel toe kan gaan. Okay, so just make a list for yourself of words that cannot exist on their own or exist as a main verb, but words like het, you know, they would be able to stand on their own. So I'm just cautioning you to this because I think it's something to easily overlook, and I want you to make sure that you get that mark. So I'm warning you about this right now while there's still time, while you're doing revision. But ask your teacher about the words that cannot stand on their own so that you're aware of what they are before the test. And I think that that will help you immensely. Okay, so I hope that this was really, really helpful. Let me know if you need anything else regarding conjunctions, Voegwoorde, and I'll gladly put it in the either in the comments or send it to you directly. I'm not sure yet. All right. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.